My name is Brent Baum, and I am not only your favorite contrarian, I'm the only contrarian. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And that's right, I am back to discuss NFL power rankings. Right now, I had the Patriots number one, 8-2 impressive wins against the Saints and the Falcons. They had two losses earlier in the season against the Panthers and the Chiefs, but Tom Brady is playing at an MVP level. They have a very good versatile running back scheme with Burkhead and Lewis and White. Tom Brady's starting to develop better chemistry with Brandon Cooks. He still has Gronkowski and Hogan and those guys, Amendola. I think that the Patriots are more ready than any team because they've been there. They have the experience. Bill Belichick is just one of the best game planners out there. He continuously takes the opposing team's best player out of the game. Earlier in the season, the Patriots, they were getting eradicated. Their pass defense was getting eradicated, but now they're starting to play better. Matt Patricia has those guys playing together as a cohesive unit. I think Gilmore and Butler are going to create a lot of problems for opposing receivers. They have a good pass rush with Trey Flowers, the linebacking core with Hightower and Van Noy's been a very impressive surprise this year. Patriots right now are the team to beat. Next, at number 2, Saints are 8-2. Impressive wins against the Panthers, the Lions, the Redskins. I just think that the Saints are the best team in the NFC because of how they've been playing on both ends of the field and their strength of schedule. You look at the fact that Drew Brees is no longer just a Drew Brees, Sean Payton show. It's a two-way show of Drew Brees, Sean Payton in the defense. Alvin Kamara, yes. And Mark Ingram, yes, have been very impressive this year. 1-2 punch. They have a great receiving core with Michael Thomas, Willie Snead, and Ted Ginn Jr. They get the ball downfield. Kobe Fleener also is playing well, but it's been more impressive how great that defense has been. You look at what they've been doing with Lattimore. He's been a shutdown corner, playing at an elite level. Cameron Jordan and those guys, they get a lot of pressure on the defense. And then Manti Tell has been having a good year. So I just think they look at the Saints. You look at what they've overcome. They are clearly post-Bounty Gate. Sean Payton has come back. Ever since they made that trading Adrian Peterson, Alvin Kamara, and Ingram don't have to worry about looking over this legend's shoulder, complaining about playing time. They just seem to be ready. They play, to me, in the toughest division in the football, NFC South. That's the reason why I have the Saints number 2. Next, I have the Eagles, 9-1, flying high. They eradicated the Cowboys. They look very good. Carson Wentz is playing at an MVP-type level. He's starting to develop chemistry with Alshon Jeffrey. I think the addition of Jay Ajayi is really going to shore up that running attack. You saw against the Cowboys, they rushed for over 200 yards. They used Clement. They used Blunt. They used Jay. They got some Jays and they got Blunts. They've been very good this year, and that's a bigger reason why the Eagles have been good. It's the way how the consistency with their offense. But I will say that the defense does not get enough credit. The way how they rotate that front four, anchored by Fletcher Cox, Jim Sports does a great job of allowing that front four to get pressure on the quarterback. He doesn't blitz a whole lot, so allows the linebackers and the secondary to drop back in coverage and have more bodies back there. And that's why you're seeing such a pleasant surprise with that secondary, Darby and Jalen Mills and Jenkins and McLeod. That defense has been very aggressive. They create a lot of problems for opposing offenses just from their sheer pressure. And they do look like one of the best teams and definitely a Super Bowl favorite to represent the NFC East. But I should say, just to represent the NFC. But I do think that the Eagles, their strength of schedule has not been tough enough. The only good win they had this year is against the Panthers. They had the one loss against the Chiefs. But the rest of the games, they've been against mediocre blueberry muffin teams. They beat the Chargers, the Broncos, then they beat the Giants. Just not enough tough teams. Don't even let me mention the 49ers. So with that in mind, it's just a strength of schedule compared to the other top teams. That's the reason why I have the Eagles 3. But I do think the Eagles can't compete against anybody else out there. I do think that the inexperience of Carson Wentz down the stretch might hurt the Eagles, and the injuries to Jason Peters and Jordan Hicks. Those are big losses. You just don't know. But I do like the Eagles making a deep playoff run. Next, I have the Steelers at 8-2. The Steelers have been very good this year. The 3 Bs, Roethlisberger, Bell, and Brown. Also the surprise addition with Juju Smith-Schuster. They're a very vertical team. Also with Martavius Bryant. I like their defense. Ryan Shazier, he creates a lot of havoc. He's a very fast linebacker. Casey Hayward puts a lot of pressure on opposing defenses. I love the versatility of Sean Davis at the safety position. And also, I think that the addition of Joe Hayden is really what the Steelers were missing. They don't play in a great division, the NFC North, but I do think that the Steelers are the one team that can beat the Patriots in the AFC. But I also will say that Ben Roethlisberger at times has looked bad. Look at the loss this year. They had the loss against the Bears, where Roethlisberger at times, his deep passing accuracy has been off just because of his age. He doesn't have the same arm strength that he once had. And sometimes you see locker room problems, a little bit of drama with Martavius Bryant complaining about playing time. But Tomlin has done a great job, and the Steelers continue to be one of the top teams in the AFC, had number 4. Next, I have the Rams. Yes, I had the Rams at 7-3. I know a lot of people might think, well, why don't you have the Vikings there? I just think that the Vikings are not as good as the Rams because Jared Goff, to me, is better than Case Keenum. I don't trust Case Keenum in the long run. I like what the Rams offense does as a whole, not counting the last game against the Vikings. They were on the road. They had a tough game, but I like how Goff is playing. I like what Sean McVay is doing. He's led this offense to being one of the top offenses in football. Number 3. Overall total offense, Gurley has had a resurgence. I like what Robert Woods is doing. Even though he's hurt, I think he will be back. I like Sammy Watkins. I also like the fact that Goff seems to have good chemistry with a little bit of everybody. He floats the ball around. I think that defense under Wade Phillips, a very experienced defensive coordinator, one of the best of all time. I like what they do with Alec Ogletree and Aaron Donald. But I do think what hurts the Rams is their pass defense. They give up a lot of yards. You saw what Adam Thielen did. He basically was running circles around that Rams secondary, making them miss, putting them on ice skates. But I do think that the Rams have another one of the top teams on both ends of the field. That's why I like the Rams next at 5. And then I have the Falcons. I know that's probably surprising a lot of people, but I had the Falcons at 6-4 because they still are hungry from that Super Bowl loss. I think Matt Ryan's starting to look similar to what he was in 2016 at an MVP level. He still has Julio Jones and Gabriel and Sanu. Tevin Coleman and Freeman are a dynamic 1-2 punch. Even though Freeman is hurt, I think he'll be back. I do like the linebacking core with Deion, Debo, Jones, Keanu New, hard-hitting safety. I like Trufant as the cornerback. Adrian Claiborne, he had 6 sacks against the Cowboys. He looks back. He looks confident. I like where the Falcons are. So I had the Falcons next. And then I had the Vikings, 8-2. Main reason why I had the Vikings lower is I don't have enough confidence in Case Keenum, even though he is playing well and he has a point. If it's broke, why fix it? Or, excuse me, now I'm starting to do what he did at his press conference. If it's not broke, why fix it? As cliche as that sounds, he has a point. And they look good with Latavius Murray and McKinnon. And then Thielen looks like a rising star. And then Stephon Diggs. They have a good, cohesive offense. And the defense, as usual, is very good. Anchored by Harrison Smith and Xavier Woods. You look at what the linebackers do with Kendricks and Barr, and Everson Griffin's having a great year. And on the other side, they have Danielle Hunter. So that Vikings team has been good this year. And you look at the wins that they have had this year, impressive wins against the Rams, the Redskins, and the Saints. So I just have the Vikings right now right at the 7th position because I just don't have enough confidence in Case Keenum for them to make a long playoff run. If they had Sam Bradford, I would say, okay, Sam Bradford is a guy. They have a chance. They don't have Sam Bradford. He's on IR. Next, I have the Panthers, 7-3. Cam Newton, he's still Cam. As Deion Sanders would say, he's still Superman. Even though they don't have much of a receiving core, I think Funches is playing well. Greg Olsen will be back. McCaffrey has been good in the backfield. They don't have much of a running attack. Cam Newton is their running back. But Cam Newton, he's such a problem for opposing defenses that you have to be cognizant of where he is on the field at all times, from passing to running. And also that defense. That defense anchored by Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis. I think that defense is one of the best defenses. They don't give a whole lot of points. They're one of the top teams in least amount of points given up each week. So that's a big reason why I have the Panthers next. And then I have the Chiefs at 6-4. I have not counted the Chiefs yet. Even though the Chiefs, they look very good at the start of the season. They beat the Patriots. They beat the Eagles. Two of the top teams in the power rankings. That's a big reason why I still have the Chiefs as being one of the top teams. They're struggling right now. But I do think they have enough weapons in Travis Kelce, the explosive feet of Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt having a great rookie campaign, a lot of great rookie running backs, and in their defense. Defense, I think they do up too many yards on the pass. I think they started to lose confidence after they lost that game. They blew that lead, losing 31-30 against the Raiders. But I like Marcus Peters. I like Thomas. I like the fact that they also have a good pass rush in Justin Houston and Tom Bahali. I think Eric Berry's loss was huge for them, but the Chiefs are not out, despite the fact they lost to a 1-8 then Giants team. Okay? Still, I still think the Chiefs have a chance, because the AFC West just isn't that strong of a division this year, as everybody anticipated. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties, but I am back. I was talking about my last team on my power rankings, the Jacksonville Jaguars, 7-3, that impressive win against the Steelers. The defining point with the Jacksonville Jaguars is that defense. They are truly a pack of hyenas. They are hungry. They are tired of being that team that gets that free trip to London, the game that gets on Yahoo, the game that nobody really is watching unless you're up at 9 o'clock in the morning. They're tired of being that team. Just look at that defense. Telvin Smith, Paul Plus Leslie, Miles Jack. Such a explosive and versatile linebacking core. They put a lot of pressure on the opposing quarterbacks with Fowler and Calais Campbell, one of the sack leaders. Their secondary, they got some mouthpieces in that secondary with Jalen Ramsey and Boye. AJ Boye has been a great signing. He's showing everybody he is worth the money. If I had a little more confidence in Blake Bortles, then I would say, okay, Jacksonville could be higher up on my power rankings. But Blake Bortles, at times, he manages the game. He's not really a game manager when he tries to be a gunslinger. Then he makes too many turnovers. If Blake Bortles can get back to the form he was his second year, then I would have a little bit more confidence in him. But I don't, and I think eventually with the lack of receiving depth, you see Allen Hurns, he gets hurt a lot. Allen Robinson, he's been out this year. Leonard Fournette has had a very good rookie campaign. A lot of good rookie running backs. But I think eventually if teams take away the pass, they will just force the Jaguars to run. And I know the Jaguars are trying to be a running team, but you got to be able to stretch the field. And you got to take the handcuffs off Blake Bortles. I know he throws a lot of turnovers, but he has a strong arm. He's shown he can make plays happen. So I have Jacksonville. That's my last team. Thanks for joining me on my power rankings. And like I said, you might not agree with it, but see, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. I rest my case.